All right, you guys, we are back and we're live. Welcome back to our daily live feed. As you are logging on, if you'd like to come work with me, suitsandposing.com is where you have to go. We do hair, makeup, suits and posing, all the fun stuff when it comes to competing. And we are live on both Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. What's up? Welcome. Yes, when you log on, say hello. What's up? What's up? Tonight is our update night. Prep update for me. Off season for some people. Improvement season. Yeah, you made it. You can see 2 times in a row today, Yolanda. Hey, hey. I can't believe it's Thursday already. This week just kind of flew. Yeah, it's crazy. So while you guys are getting on here, if you want to come and work with me, we got the QR code up here in the corner too for my website right there. That's SeanCoutureCuties.com. You can go there, and if you need a suit, if you need posing, if you need hair and makeup for your shows, you can get it all right there. Yeah, all the fun stuff. We have Masters Nationals coming up next. That's our next show that we'll be at. And then we have Clash of the Titans. Then we have Tampa. Then we have Nashville. Then we have North Americans. That gets us into September. So that gets us through the summer, which I cannot believe we're saying that already because we are already into July, which is crazy. This freaking year is going by fast, man. Valerie, we haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. And relatively soon here, we are also going to be talking about Cuties Conquering the Stage again. So that's coming up. We have pretty much everything set. I still want to get one more speaker, but other than that, I've got everything else all set and ready to go. We got dates, we got venues, we got all of that stuff. If you are interested in sponsoring, we are signing on sponsors right now. So let me know. Just reach out. I'll send you the information about sponsorship. This is our 9th year for Cuties Conquering the Stage, which is crazy. But yeah, we're going on almost a full decade of this particular event. It was the first one ever out of its kind. It still is the best in my opinion. All female focused weekends for competitors. But in the meantime, how's everybody's preps and improvement seasons going? So I always give it a few minutes for everybody to get logged on. We're in a few minutes here. So I was doing this particular topic in kind of a vlog kind of series, but in my opinion, it was a little bit bleh. So we started doing it here so that you guys can interject and put some information in there too, ask questions. We have coaches that come on that can answer as well. Slow and steady prep over here as well. Same with me, very slow and steady. Which before I get too far into this, before we start talking about this too much, I just downloaded Threads. Okay, what is this? Because I see everybody freaking posting about it now. So this is like the new version of Instagram, like Instagram's Twitter. Is that what it is? Because I don't even pay attention to Twitter. So now I'm supposed to pay attention to this. And I guess because I just downloaded it, now I can't delete it from what people are saying. So woohoo, awesome. If it's not one thing, it's another, right? Yeah, time's flying for sure. Absolutely is. Absolutely is. But yeah, so I'm pulling up some pictures here real quick. Okay. So let's talk. I've been cutting for this is my 3rd week going into it now, and I have lost no weight, basically. Like no weight. I went up a half a pound this week. I was down almost a full pound last week, went up a half a pound this week. So, I've lost like a half a pound total, basically. But part of that, we talked about this before about being consistent and things like that. Happy Jared, yeah, happy Thursday, right? Is being consistent with your check-ins and things like that too. So I kind of knew that my weight wasn't going to drop today. So this is why we're talking about the scale as a liar, right? That's where this topic comes from. We talked about being consistent with everything and how you do things and how that can affect check-ins or whatever you might do. And I was definitely not consistent with my training this week. And what I mean by that is I trained glutes and legs yesterday. I never train glutes and legs the day before I check in because I know that I'm going to retain water. I know I'm going to have inflammation. I'm almost always up like a full pound after a leg day or a glute day, just from water retention and things like that. And that's what happened. So, only being up a half a pound from last week's check-in, I was okay with that. But I knew that wasn't like a real test. Plus, like my leg measurement was up a quarter of an inch. So I take measurements of my thigh, my hips, and my waist. And my hips and my waist were the same. And my thigh measurement was up a quarter of an inch, which my thigh measurement doesn't go up ever when it comes to my check-ins. They don't ever go up because I'm just so long. My legs are so long that the last place that I actually put muscle on is in my legs. That's the very last place that it goes. So the fact that it went up a quarter of an inch, I was like, oh, there's my inflammation right there. It's in my legs because of what I trained yesterday, right? So going back to like when you're in these prep modes and things like that, numbers are cool and statistics are cool and all that, but they're not the be all end all, right? If I hadn't known that about my body and know that like I retain water after I train legs, then I would think that I was going in the wrong direction with my prep, right? Because I'm up from where I was last week. But in reality, I'm probably not. In reality, I'm probably a little bit lower, but I've got some inflammation on me from training, right? So that's this time change in Vegas. Yeah. Whenever you're changing time zones, it's always a thing, right? So knowing your body is huge, right? We've talked about this before. And this is why I mentioned with scale being a liar, because you can't gain all of your information on how your body's progressing based on your weight. It's not the be all end all. It's a good tool, but it's never going to be the absolute, right? There's so many other factors that come into play. So as we're talking about this, guys, tell me some things that may affect you with your check-ins, right? So I just talked about how my leg training, if I do leg training before I check in, that my weight will be up. I know it will be up because I'm always up after I do a leg training or a glute training, lower body in general. I'm going to be up on my weight. What are some other things? Something for me, sodium. One of my favorite like snacks, if I can fit it in my macros, is popcorn. But I know if I have popcorn, I'm going to be up at least a pound the next day. I know I'm going to be up at least a pound the next day because of the sodium in the popcorn. But it is what it is. I know that's where that's from, right? Around ovulation, I'm always up. I don't go up during ovulation. I go up before my cycle, before my period hits, for sure. 100%. Not ovulation, though. I'm good with ovulation. Leg days before check-in cycle, if I eat too late or lack of sleep. Yep. That was something too. So I had steak yesterday, but it was like we grilled steak for 4th of July, so it was left over. And there was a lot of sodium on that too. So that probably didn't help with retention either. And I thought about that as well after I turned my check-ins in this morning. I thought about the fact that I had that steak and I know it had a lot of sodium in it from the rub that was on it. So that can definitely affect as well. I had to change my rest days to the day before check-ins because my weight is always up after leg day. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And again, knowing those things about yourself is a good thing. Like if you decide to do it where you're going to have your leg day the day before your check-in or something, just always do it that way. You know what I mean? Make it consistent that way. Right. Yeah. Sodium for me too. Big one for me is when I have to get my heart rate, 6 to 10 days post HRT. Oh, HRT. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Carbonated beverages always get me. Yeah. I have an issue with that too. I have an issue with carbonation. It just hurts my stomach. I just don't do it very often, so I don't like it. I can't drink wine less than 40 hours before check-in. Well, it shows up on day 2 for me. That's funny. That's true too. Because alcohol in general will dehydrate you, but then you get inflamed from it too, right? So that's true, actually. I'm not a huge, like, I don't drink a lot. When I do, it's like one glass. And it just affects my sleep a lot more than anything else. So I try to stay away from it as much as I can as I'm going into prep. Now, that said, I still drink wine, once every week or 2 weeks or something like that when I have the macros for it, when I want it, that kind of thing. But I just don't do it as much if I'm in prep versus off season, even if I can fit it in my macros. Just because of the inflammation factor. Yeah, just because of the inflammation factor. Like, I'll save those for like special occasions. If I'm going out to be social or something like that, and I want to have a couple of glasses of wine or something, I'll do that. And I will do that even in prep, up until the last few weeks, of course. The last few weeks, you don't want to do that kind of stuff. But there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you know the effects that you're going to have from it, So I have to get 8 hours of sleep. I'm so strict the day before check-ins. I don't mess around. I'm the same way. I have not been getting 8 hours of sleep, but I've been getting restful sleep. I've been getting about 7 to 7.5 hours. My body just won't let me sleep longer than that. Like, I could sleep longer, but for whatever reason, I'm getting up at 7.5 hours. But it's been very restful sleep the last few weeks, which is not normal. And plus my bedroom, like not last night, because I was in the guest room last night. So I'll talk about that in a second. But my bedroom the last few nights has been ridiculously hot because of the weather. It's just been gross. So, we're trying to get that thermostat regulate and all that kind of stuff. We got 1,000 fans in there, all that kind of stuff too. And being hot at night will definitely affect how I sleep, 100%. Last night I slept in the guest bedroom. Every night before my check-ins, I sleep in the guest bedroom. I do that on purpose. Because I know that the dogs aren't going to wake me up. My husband's not going to wake me up. I'm good. I'll get a full night's total rested sleep. So I know that I can do that, and I'll be good to go. That's why I do that. So, for sure, out of prep, I wait for when coach says, go get a glass. Yeah. LO say, I treat the day before check-ins like the day before show days, to bed early, sleep with my feet up, etc. That's too funny. Who can get sleep with the never-ending fireworks? Oh yeah, right. So we have noise canceling, fans and stuff like that. So I hear nothing. If you're in my bedroom, my master bedroom, you'll hear nothing. You'll hear nothing because we have like fans, we have filters and all that stuff going. You'll hear nothing. I can't sleep without a fan. So if I'm ever at a hotel or something like that, I turn on fan noise on YouTube. There's these YouTube videos that are like 12 hours long. And I turn those on whenever I'm sleeping in a hotel. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't be able to sleep, period. Would not be able to sleep. So one of those things every girl wants to hear, Jen. Right? Yeah. So you're hitting when I say go get a glass. That's too funny. Yep. Yeah, in general, like when you're in prep, there's nothing wrong with having a glass of wine here and there or having a drink here and there. But it takes away from your macros. So if you're already low on like carbs or fats or whatever you're going to pull your alcohol from, that takes a lot out of there, right? That's a lot that you could have had a full meal with, right? And then B, you got to think of the way that it's going to affect you, whether it's inflammation or sleep affecting your sleep. Again, alcohol definitely affects my sleep. So it's not a good idea for me to do it a lot. But like I said, I don't know, the last 3 weeks or so, I've been sleeping really, really well. Even at Universe, I slept very, very well. For those of you that don't know, like when I do hair and makeup at shows, I have to get up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. My typical bedtime when I typically go to sleep is around midnight, always. That's just how it is. So when I'm home, like I get up around 7:30. That's around where I get up. Sometimes a little earlier, sometimes a little bit later. I never can sleep past 8, unfortunately. I try, but it never happens. Usually I'm getting up around 7:30. So when I go to shows, I still can't go to sleep until midnight because that's just my normal bedtime, right? And so then I'm getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever it might be in order to go do hair and makeup, right? Well, even at Universe, I passed out so hard when my alarm went off at 4 a.m. I didn't even know where I was. I woke up. I was like, where am I? Like, it took me a minute to remember that I was in a hotel in Jersey. I was like, where did I go? It's like, I never sleep like that in hotels, ever. Like, I don't even know where that came from. I don't know. And it's not like my sleep was bad leading up to that, like I crashed or anything like that. That's not what it was. So whatever, I'm not complaining because my sleep was good this week, again, for some odd reason. So usually when I go into prep, my sleep gets worse, but it's gotten better. I don't know. It's just really been the last couple of weeks. My sleep quality has very drastically improved. I wear my watch when I sleep. So I have an app that it's attached to. So I see what my actual sleep quality is. If you're not doing that, that's something you should be doing. You can put your watch on sleep mode, and then it starts tracking your sleep. And it's an app that's right through the iPhone and everything. And what it does is it tracks your resting heart rate, it tracks your breathing, all those kinds of things, tracks your temperature, all of that. So you can see how restful your sleep actually is. Because it's one thing to be in bed for 8 hours. It's another thing to actually sleep well for 8 hours, right? So I really think that makes a huge, huge difference. And I pay attention to that every day. I check my sleep quality because that is a huge, huge factor. And really, like I said, it's really been about the last 3 weeks or so that my sleep has been ridiculously good in comparison. They give you like little bars. I should take a screenshot or something of it, but they give you like little bars and you're either in the red, orange, yellow, or green. And I've been in green every single day. I don't know why. But I'll take it. I will take it. That's going to be my measure of success as far as my sleep is concerned going through this prep. You know what I mean? So again, going back to waking up this morning, I kind of knew that my weight was going to be a little bit higher because of all those factors, specifically because of training legs the day before. And I train, I actually retain more when I train quads and things like that than I do when I train glutes. So that's no nutritional benefit whatsoever. None. Yes, Brady, my husband and kids already know Wednesday nights, leave me alone. Yeah. That's right. Those are the messages that trigger happy tears for me. To feel it. Yeah, it's too funny. You guys are cracking me up. But yeah, that's all part of it, right? So anyway, I knew getting up that I was probably going to be a little bit higher on my weight. Now, with that said, when I look at my photos from this week versus last week, even though my weight is up, I look significantly leaner this week than I did last week. And I actually have my pictures here. Hang on. I downloaded them so that y'all could see them. Let me go ahead and screen share. Okay. So the left is last week. The right is this week. I mean, you can actually see how my waistline has come in from last week. And I weigh less last week than I do this week. So I don't know how that happened exactly. But I'm not going to question it. I'm just going to say that it was meant to be. But this is why, again, I'm saying the scale is a liar. Because if all we went on was the scale, then you wouldn't see this. Like, can you guys see that? Am I the only one? I want to make sure you can actually see this on the live. And you can see that I'm actually tighter this week than I was last week. I'm going to pull up another set too. Yeah, the waistline came in a lot. I don't know. And again, this is why I say measurements, but my measurements didn't change. And here's this too from last week versus this week. My measurements are the same for my waist and my hips, so that didn't change. And my weight's actually higher now. So I don't really know. But I was going to say, like, when I checked in with Jamie in person at Universe, I was like, oh my God, I have ab veins. Like I'd eaten a meal when I went to see Jamie. So I already had some carbs flowing through me and some water and some coffee and things like that. So I wasn't fasted when I went to see her. But I had veins running through my stomach. I had veins running through my shoulders because I did get to check in with her in person on Saturday after Universe was over. So that's always a good thing, being able to check in person. But I don't exactly know why. But I mean, my cardio went up this past week, like I told you. I mean, I was on 15 minutes every single day. I was carb cycling, that kind of thing. So I could have just been holding extra water last week versus, I don't know. But like I said, I feel like I was inflamed this week because of the training. So I don't know. But again, you can clearly see that it looks like I've leaned out from last week, right? I'm like, so it's not just me. I'm glad y'all can see it. And even on the glutes too. So, let's see. All right, here's the glute shot. Last week versus this week. I mean, even here you can see it, right? So, I don't know. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. But this is why I'm saying, like, you can't base your progress off of one metric. You know, you can't base your progress off of measurements alone, weight alone. You can't do any of that. You got to go based on look. This is an aesthetic sport, right? It's not a performance sport. It's an aesthetic sport. So it's all in how you look, you know, especially for women. They're not pulling a scale out for us. We're not stepping on a scale going on stage. Doesn't make a difference what we weigh. What makes a difference is how we look, right? So you can see also this week, my back is jacked up right here. It's still a little bit here, but this week was worse. I don't know what I did. I think I slept wrong. I woke up this morning and it was hurt. So I couldn't get it to go down. I couldn't get my arm to go down. So it is what it is. I'm going in for a massage on Monday, get that taken care of. But yeah, so take your photos, guys. Take your photos. Make sure that you're collecting all of your data, right? Make sure you're collecting all of your data. Well, see, I don't think there's anything wrong with taking your weight, right? We've talked about this before. I think that the weight is a tool. I don't think it's the be all end all. Like I said, I mean, I went up in weight this week versus last week, but when you look at the photos, it doesn't look that way. It looks like I dropped weight. So I do think that photos are good to an extent. I'm sorry, weight is good to an extent. Now, if it's bothering you mentally, as far as your weigh-ins and stuff like that are concerned, then forget about it, because it's really not that important. It's what you look like. And if it's going to affect you mentally more than it's going to help you, then it's not a good idea. Then just get rid of it. It's okay. It's not a big deal, right? You need to understand your weight. I think that having an understanding of what the weight is and what the weight is attributed to is important. You know, like I said, the reason why my weight's up, I knew, was because I trained my legs yesterday. You know what I mean? And like you said, I mean, if you know your weight going into your period is going to be higher, then you can adjust for that, or at least mentally, you know, oh, I know why my weight's going up, because my period is coming, you know, things like that. So for me, understanding the scale and understanding what those numbers mean is important. Okay. I don't have a problem with my weight and going up as long as I know what's causing it. I'm a why person. Give me the why behind the what, and I'm good. Give me a reason, and I'm good. I can take care of it from there, right? As long as I know why, I'm good. If you can't tell me why, then we got a problem, right? That comes down to everything, right? When it comes to coaching and things like that too. You should always be able to communicate with your coach. That's the first thing. And they should tell you what to do. That's the second thing. But they should also tell you why they're having you do a certain thing. If they can't give you the why behind the what, there's a problem. Right? I want to know why. If you can tell me why, I'm good. Right? If you can give me a reason, I'm good. Right? I just want to know why. As long as I know the why, let's go. Right? If you tell me to do it just to do it, no, I need to have a better reason than that. Makes sense. It's when you don't know why that it can be super frustrating. Absolutely. Absolutely. Track everything, you guys. Like you just said, Tanisha, that you go up in weight when you ovulate. Well, now you know that. You know what I mean? So if you track your cycles, then you know exactly why your weight's going up when you're going into ovulation, right? That's a great thing to know, because then you don't have to freak out about it. I know for a fact I'm going to go up a couple of pounds the 2 days before my period. Every single time I go up at least 2 pounds going into my period. Every single time. And then as soon as my period hits, I start coming right back down again. So I know if I'm getting close to that point in the time of the month, my weight's going up, I'm not doing anything wrong. It's my body. My body's doing what it's supposed to do. It's actually performing how it's supposed to perform, right? And that helps you too when you're planning around your shows and things like that. You know, obviously there's only so much you can do. And a lot of times when you're in prep, your cycles will get a little bit wonky based on your caloric deficit and things like that. I can say from my 13 years in this sport, I've only ever lost my period during prep one time. I've only ever lost it one time. And that was when I was with a coach that was depleting me really, 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 really hard. I was like a stick and I had nothing left and I looked like a stick figure and I could break in half. That was the only time I've ever lost my period during prep. Now, some people respond differently, right? Some people will lose it just in a matter of dropping a couple of pounds, and all of a sudden all their hormones are all out of whack, and so they do lose their period almost immediately. Everybody's a little bit different. I can track my cycle to the letter most of the time. My cycle was late when I came out of prep last year, because coming back out, you know, the reverse out and things like that, again, it's a hormonal fluctuation quite a bit. I had some issues with my, my cortisol levels spiking and things like that. So my cycle was delayed, but I didn't lose it. It was delayed by like a week and a half or something. And then it came back and it was fine. And it's been fine ever since. So again, understanding your body and understanding what you're doing and what's going on is very important, because then you don't freak out every single day and wonder what's going on. And at least you know why it's happening, right? What are some other things that maybe when you're in prep or when you're in off season, maybe they go a little bit wonky, right? We just talked about your weight. We talked about the period, sleep. We talked about sleep being a thing. What about hunger cravings? Does anybody get weird hunger cravings when they're in prep, or like different food cravings, things like that? That's one thing. Something else. Anybody else got some other things that they want to talk, that they go wonky with? Mental. You guys have problems with forgetting things when you're in prep? What are some other things? Go ahead and type in some of the things that maybe happen that go a little bit funky. Being able to be rational and not emotional. I know a lot of people just in general outside of prep have a hard time being rational. And then as soon as they get into prep, it becomes 10 times worse and they react and act on emotion a lot. Last prep digestion was all off. This time around, I'm doing much better. Digestion's a big thing. When you start changing up your diet or drying your diet out, it's hard. Yeah. Brain fog and concentration. Not even a question. Brain super forgetful. And here's the thing. I don't ever have an issue with that until I get into like the last month. Last 3 weeks or so is when I start to feel the prep problems. It's not until that point. Up until that point, I usually don't even feel like I'm doing anything different. Like I can see my body responding and stuff like that. But in general, my body pretty much and my brain pretty much stays the same all the way until I get into that last like 3 weeks or so. For some odd reason in prep, I like to watch cooking shows. That only further frustrates me. That's too funny. I'm not a cooking show person, but what I am is I love to watch desserts and candies being made. So I love watching like people that do like chocolate work, like Instagram and stuff like that. I'll watch these people make these amazing like chocolate desserts and sculptures and things like that, like stuff that doesn't look like actual candy. Like I love watching stuff like that. It's not like I like the art form of it. It's not because I want to eat it. It's because I like the art form of it. So feeling antisocial, I get like that just every day. I'm an introverted extrovert, right? I'm actually pretty much, I keep to myself a lot, until I'm in social situations like this. I can talk all day long. It can be social all day long, but in general, I'm pretty much to myself most of the time. Right. So, yes, which is why I really keep a very regular routine. So it's almost muscle memory to do all the things. Yeah. Routine is huge. Keeping lists, things like that. Absolutely. Yep. So I'm going to make all the meals after prep from these shows. It never happens. I know, right? I love to bake too. So some of you guys have followed me. I bake and things like that. I love to bake, and I don't like to cook. I like to bake. So I went to school for music, and if I didn't go to school for music, I was going to go to school for culinary arts because I wanted to be a pastry chef. So that's like my thing. I love to bake and all that kind of stuff. So social, yeah, yeah. I'm as far as the social thing, like I like being social to an extent, but like it's like I have to plan to be social, right? Like me getting on live with you guys every night, I love doing that, but I plan for it, right? And then once I'm done, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be quiet again. I'm like, I have to have my me time. I have a hard time being around people 24/7. Like I have to have my space. It makes me laugh because it's just me and my husband in this huge house, but I like the whole downstairs floor is all of my studio and it's mine. Like it's my space. He's got his office. I don't ever go in his office. He has never come in mine. It's like we have our own space, like our in our own home. Like, you know what I mean? Have to. Prep makes me shop more. That's too funny. I love watching Food Network and food related things on IG, but it's not because I crave it. I just feel like this like physiological satisfaction. I was like preparing treats for others. See, I have a problem with that. If I'm baking something or cooking something, I am eating it. So I don't do that. If I can't eat it, no. And part of that is just because I want to be able to make sure that what I just made was good. Like I don't want to feed it to people and it be like shit, like I don't want it to be good. For sure, just live hang of trash TV show on and don't even know. I pay attention to it. I just zone out. Yeah. I think mentally we all need that sometimes just in general, just outside of prep, right? Prep makes me a good candidate for an episode of Snapped, according to Danielle. That's too funny. I don't ever have an issue with that. Like I'll get up with my feels. Like I don't get angry. I don't get mean. I don't get testy. I don't get like that. I get more like, and I don't even want to say emotional, but it's like I feel things more. Like I want to cry more, or I want to laugh more, or whatever. But it's like my emotions get a little bit more intense, right? Like everything good feels better, everything bad feels worse. Does that make sense? I don't know. Last 2 weeks of prep, I take a 25 to 35-minute nap daily. Naps are big in prep. Yeah, naps are big in prep. I schedule nap time. I do. I'm not at that point now. Again, when it comes to me and where I am in my prep at this point, I'm like, I don't know, 20 something weeks out. So I don't even know, but I got plenty of time. So I'm not worried about it at this point. But once I get into the last couple of months, yeah, I schedule naps 100%. Yep. Real involuntary. That's too funny. Randy, what's your zodiac sign? What's your zodiac sign? I'm curious. Mary is Margaret when she's like that, and Jen is Sally. I feel drunk if I nap. Like it makes my body mad. That's funny. Oh no, I love naps. Naps are great. Naps are fantastic. So I'll structure my day so that I go to the gym and I can take a nap before I start clients in the afternoon. That's how I'll structure my day. Psycho Sally. Oh no. Aquarius. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense too. That makes sense too. I get it. My husband's an Aries, so he's got a temper. Plus he's Spanish, which adds to it. He's a fire sign and he's from Spain, so he's fire. I'm not like that at all. I'm a water sign. Well, I'm sorry, no, I'm not a water sign. I'm an earth sign, but I'm very placid like water. So calm it down. Same, right? I just said that to my husband this week, and I feel groggy when I wake up. Oh, not me. Oh, I feel great after naps. I love naps, especially in the summertime. Taking a nap in the afternoon is fantastic. It's wonderful. I love it. If I have the opportunity, I absolutely do it. Yeah. Yeah, he's real spicy. Brandy, yeah, he's real spicy. There's a reason why he only did one prep with me. Let's just put it that way. There's a reason why he only did one prep with me. And we prepped for the same show. Oh my goodness. It was, we made it through. We made it. Yeah. So circling it back around here. So I checked in today. I'm happy with my photos, happy with my progress. Obviously my weight didn't go down. It went up a half a pound, all of that. So as far as moving forward, my macros are staying the same. So I'm still up in the 2,500 calorie range, 240 grams of carbs one day, 290 the others, 70 grams of fat. I don't even remember off the top of my head, but it's the same macros as last week, which I did post in a reel with my update, like whatever it was this past weekend. So my macros are the same, still carb cycling. Cardio got bumped up to 20 minutes a day, 6 days a week. Not a big deal. So I'm good with the cardio being bumped up. I will say I'm already getting hungry, which is weird. I'm still on a lot of calories. I'm already getting hungry. Like I went and checked my MyFitnessPal right before this live and realized I don't have a lot of macros left. And I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm still hungry. So I'm definitely getting hungry. I'm going to have to start pounding more water. That's going to have to be a thing because it's already there. I mean, I think when you've got such a surplus in calories and your body's using everything, even the littlest cut or the littlest bump up in activity will make a big difference. My steps this last week were at an average of 1,600 steps a day, which 2 weeks ago they were 5,000. So I'm up over 1,000 steps per day average, higher now. So all those things, all those little things like that, they add up over time. So we'll see where my weight hits next week. I'm home this whole week, but I do have a photo shoot weekend this weekend. So I assume that's going to be pretty stressful on my body. So we'll see. We'll see where I'm at. Anyone else mess around and stretch macros, and then all of a sudden it's lost the end of your comment there, Jennifer. Finished it out. Yesterday, I just was eating just like my normal meals, and I got to like 4:00 and I looked at my MyFitnessPal and I had no carbs. I was like, oh my God, it's 4:00 and I ate all my carbs. What am I going to do? I had protein. That was all I had left for the rest of the day. I was like, really? I just had to eat plain chicken twice. I was like, how did I do that? I don't even know. Suddenly at 7 p.m. I need 2/3 of your macros to go. Oh yeah. So I do that sometimes, like, especially when I'm going to have a social occasion or something, right? So if I'm going out or something like that, I will purposely not eat a lot in the morning so that I can keep all my macros for when I go out. But I can eat all those macros real quick when you're out, real quick. So it's like you have one glass of wine and your dinner and you're done, right? So, but yeah, I do that sometimes. Like when I have really busy days, like my Sundays with Sean days, those days, typically I have a ton of calories left by the end of the day, because what happens is I eat my first meal before I go to Sundays with Sean. Then I'll have like a snack between the workout and posing. Then I get to the end of the posing and I do my own posing. And by that time, it's like 4:00 in the afternoon. And I've only had 2 meals, like a snack. That's it. So I'm like, okay, got to go home and eat everything in the house now. And it's 5:00 in the afternoon. So yeah, definitely do that. Hey, do what works, right? On the days when I have photo shoots and stuff, I'll have one meal in the morning and then I'll snack on stuff throughout the day. So by the time I get to the end of the night, I have a ton of stuff that I have to eat, right? That's just how it goes, because you're just going boom, 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 boom. It's the same thing when I'm at shows like Universe. It was the same thing, right? I have my breakfast in the morning. When I started hair and makeup clients at 4:00 in the morning, didn't eat anything at all until right before prejudging. And then I had a snack before prejudging. I took protein pancakes with me to prejudging. And then once prejudging was over, which that wasn't over until 4:00, I got back to the room and I'm like, oh my God, I've only eaten 2 meals, Happens at show weekends all the time. That tends to work out well, because then I can go out to eat after and go, use the rest of my macros, which is what I did at Universe. That's what I did at Universe. So, see, I go to bed at midnight. So I'm usually having my last meal around 10. So my last meal is usually around 10 o'clock at night. My first meal, I usually don't have my first meal until 9:30, depending on when I get up in the morning. I have my coffee, I do my emails, my social media updates, all that stuff. And then I have my first meal. So I don't even have my first meal until 9:30 something in the morning. Yeah. Me too. I'm like, do I do this stuff to myself and just go to bed? Yeah, the hardest thing for me if I do that, if I push my meals, is getting the protein in at night. So that's when I'll like down a protein shake in order to get it in. Yeah, that's the hardest part is getting all the protein in. I have no problem getting my fats and my carbs in. It's getting all the protein. I think I'm on like 185 grams of protein a day, so it's a lot. I'm a big girl. I'm a big girl. So, but it's getting the protein in is the hard part for sure, absolutely. So going forward this coming week, my cardio is bumped up to 20 minutes a day versus 15. That's it. That's the only change for this week. So again, my show plan isn't until after Olympia in November. So I got plenty of time to cut down, and I want to do it nice and slow so that I retain every single piece of muscle that I possibly can. So any other questions that you guys have that we haven't talked about tonight that you wanted to bring up or wanted to ask? We've got coaches on the line. We've got coaches here on live. Is there anything that you guys wanted to type in? We'll give it a minute or two, and then we'll end it out for tonight. Stir fry smorgasbord. I love it. I don't eat protein shakes unless I have to. That's just for me to get the protein in if I need it. Like if I haven't hit my macros yet, then I'll do protein shake. But chicken, beef, turkey, salmon, shrimp. I don't do whitefish because I just can't stomach it. There have been so many preps where I've been on all whitefish that I just cannot stomach whitefish anymore. It just makes me want to vomit, so I don't do it. But I do salmon. Like I said, chicken. I don't do eggs because I feel like I have an allergic reaction to eggs with my digestion and stuff. So that's where I get all my protein. Oh, and yogurt, Greek yogurt. I have Greek yogurt every single day. Every single day for Greek yogurt for my digestive health. That's my breakfast. So my breakfast every day right now, it'll change as I go forward because I won't have as many macros. My breakfast is my biggest meal of the day. So I do a banana, and I vary my fruits. Right now I'm on a banana kick. So I do a banana. I do one of the Dave's Epic protein bagels, which I like the cinnamon raisin. I do Greek yogurt with a scoop of collagen protein powder in it, usually, sometimes not. If I put the protein powder in it, then that's it. If I don't, then there's actually protein cereals now. So I'll put protein cereal into a half a serving of the protein cereal into the Greek yogurt. And that's my breakfast. So, I was no longer on cod. Yeah. I all found worms from eating fresh. Ugh. I just don't like cod in general. I had a prep where all I ate was cod, and I'm like, ugh, can't do it. Ugh. For me, it's eggs and chicken. Yeah, chicken, shrimp, turkey, tuna, Greek yogurt, egg whites, and more chicken. Yeah, lots of chicken. Yep. Yeah, I do a collagen protein too, and Kodiak pancakes. Yeah, I get pancakes from MegaFit Meals, the protein pancakes that they do. Yeah, I do plain non-fat Greek yogurt. If I have enough fat in my diet, then I'll get some that has like the whole milk because I do like it better. But it's just a matter of if I have enough fat. I used to do Kodiak cakes a lot. I just go on these kicks, and I don't do the Kodiak cakes anymore. But I probably will at some point again. I've got boxes of them in my pantry. I just don't do them right now. I love cottage cheese, but I can't have it in prep. I used to eat cottage cheese. I'm not a huge cottage cheese fan. I do love the Greek yogurt for sure. And I actually get Greek yogurt frozen pops too, the Yazo ones. So I have those, but those are more like a treat. They're not really a good source of protein. They still got carbs and stuff like that in them. And I do those usually like post-workout, like if I'm really hot. Like I did one today because I did cardio outside. So when I came home from doing cardio in my neighborhood and I was sweating, I grabbed one of those frozen yogurt pops. I like those. Anything else? Any other questions? Oh, frozen bark. I've made Greek yogurt frozen bark before. I've made that. I've not bought it, but I've made it. I could do the cottage cheese and eggs, but I don't do eggs anymore because, again, I just had a digestive problem with eggs, so I just don't do eggs anymore at all, period. So I just cut them out. I haven't had eggs since December. And I used to eat eggs every day. I haven't had eggs since December. Breakfast, I know, right? Breakfast is my favorite meal of the day. I love breakfast. I love breakfast. And I go on kicks. Like I will eat the same breakfast every single day for like 6 months and then I'll change it. But it's like I've been doing the bagel thing for a long time now. I just love those bagels. So yeah, I haven't had eggs or egg whites since December. When I got COVID. I stopped eating them because I just wasn't making them in the morning anymore because I was sick. And then I realized my digestion got better. So I just stopped them. I was like, I'm not going back. It's just not doing it again. This is what it is. No more eggs. So, all right. Well, that was another fun one. I always love these ones because we get a lot of interaction, a lot of good questions, and a lot of good input and things like that. So I hope everybody's season, wherever they are, is going well. Stock up your questions. We can always do these on Thursday nights, right? So yeah, I used to go on a protein waffle. I used to do protein pancakes. I have a little pancake maker, like a mini pancake maker, waffle maker, and I use that for the Kodiak cakes. I was on a kick for that for a long time. So it just depends. I'll go on a kick for a while. Like even with my bagels, I used to toast the bagels. Now I don't toast the bagels. Now I just eat them plain. So I just go on these random kicks, and I'll do this for another couple of months, and then I'll change it to something else. I'm a creature of habit, but then when I want to change everything, I change everything. So like I'll get over like having bananas every day, and I'll probably go to watermelon or like cantaloupe or something like that instead. Like I just change it up. So like a waffle ice cream sandwich, that's fantastic. That's a great idea. That's a really good idea. I'm gonna do that. That's actually a really good idea. I'm gonna totally do that. Yeah, freeze up that Greek yogurt with some protein powder. That's a good idea. All right, that's gonna be a project. I don't know when I can do that. Maybe I'll do that on like Monday or something. That's actually a really good idea. I'm gonna try it. You got my wheels turning right here. All right, you guys. So, it's a big show weekend this weekend. So watch. I think that Kelby mentioned that they are going to have a live stream for Republic of Texas. So go ahead and watch that if you have the opportunity to do that. I love watermelon. We had watermelon for 4th of July. There's nothing better than watermelon on 4th of July. That's so American. We had watermelon, and corn on the cob. That's totally 4th of July. That's America right there. So, peaches, if they're good, same thing with pears. Peaches and pears are the same. They have to be very ripe, and if they are, they're phenomenal. If they're not, then they're trash. So that's all I got to say about that. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Republic of Texas is the big show this weekend. There's Patriots too, but I think Republic of Texas is going to have a live stream now. So go ahead and check that out. If you do check it out, relay it to me because I will be busy all day Saturday and Sunday. But then we'll be back on Tuesday. We'll have a regular week next week because there's no Masters Nationals next week. So we'll have a regular week next week with live streams and stuff. So we'll be back on and wrap up everything on Tuesday. Okay. With that, I hope you guys have a fantastic evening. Have a fantastic weekend. And we'll see you right back here on Tuesday. And we'll wrap up the shows. Cool? All right. Kick ass this weekend. We'll see you back here and come work with me. Suitsandposing.com. You got that? There's that QR code right there. Got it? All right. Have a good night, you guys.